My name is Myrtle Vetbray, and I'm the General Secretary of the South African Domestic Service and Allied Workers Union. And I'm also representing the International Domestic Workers Network that represents about 17 organizations in the world.
In my area, some domestic workers bosses, they didn't treat him very well, and then they work long hours, and also they can give us the increase every year. If you ask for the increase, they fire you. The employers sometimes, they rape you, they take the drugs, and then they cannot talk with you nicely. You have no say because it's his own property.
We feel not appreciated, and we feel underpaid and even abused, because in these places you're even being abused through this family members. Some you don't take good care enough for the families, and so people when they're old, some of them forget, some of Alzheimer's, they forget, they remember the times when they still had maybe something, and now they think now is that, they think back and then they come look for that specific thing, and then they will say, okay, it's stolen.
I think, the reason why we use the vulnerable sector, although we sometimes want to move away from it, is because of domestic workers work isolated from other workers. They actually live alone, they stay in the backyard of the employers. Also, domestic workers are not really protected with social security and social benefits. So that is actually why they still call the vulnerable sector. But we are hoping that changes will come for the domestic workers. I think that SATSAU itself was very fortunate that in year 2006, Hester, our president, was part of a delegation that went to Amsterdam.
My name is Hester Stevens, and I'm a full-time domestic worker.
And there they discussed what do they want as domestic workers, and most of the comrades at that workshop was domestic workers. And of course there was a lot of crying and a lot of things, and there they discussed what can we do to better our own lives. Unfortunately, like many other meetings, it slows down. And then the year 2008, I was fortunately to be invited because Comrade Hester made sure that she won't be able to attend all the meetings. So I was invited then. Getting there in Geneva, we discussed the way forward, and there we decided there should be actually a working body, and we formed a steering group. The steering group then consists of 7 countries, and there SATSAU was asked, because of our strong labor rights in South Africa, if we would lead this delegation. And from there on we become part of the ILO. In the year 2009 we went to observe the ILO. In the year 2010 we actually took part in mock, how you speak in the ILO. We never knew that it was such a big thing. And then 2011 we were fortunate to be right in the ILO. SATSAU was still lucky that we become the chairperson of the International Domestic Workers Network, and most of the workers in that network come from the migrant sector. But also if we look at what happened in 2011, you find that most of the ILO labor laws was actually taken from the South African labor laws, because many of those that was discussed that South Africa had it, but although it wasn't implemented. And then SATSAU played a leading role. SATSAU could speak at the ILO. What was the proudest moment for us all is that for the first time in the history of domestic workers or the ILO was 100 years old, workers could speak up for themselves and workers could take part in the ILO, which was never heard of. So for us, the 16th of June 2011 was a historical day for domestic workers. We call it a day where we received our freedom, our dignity, slaves no more. And SATSAU was very proud that they could be part of that historical moment.
We organize workers in trains, in the buses, taxi ranks. Most of the domestic workers during the weekend, when they are finished their work, they go and sit at the parks, and that's where we get them as AfSud to educate them about their rights and to invite them to attend our meetings. What we want to achieve as domestic workers is to see the employers complying with the law. Still have the problem with the domestic workers who fear to join the union, for fearing for intimidation or dismissal. So we want them to learn more. We want AfSud to grow.
I believe it's important for every workplace to join AfSud because you must know your rights, and you are being so treated unfairly in these places. I see a workplace as your second family, and there is where there must be understanding between the boss and the workers.